Hang with #1 here today. Underway in Tucson, and it's the Red Raiders with the first possession.
And Arizona starting out with Ivan Karchenkov on Christian Anderson. That puts size. Those two have played together in Germany before.
Anderson third in the nation in assists at just under 8 per game, and a lot of those go to J.T. Toppin. Jalen Petty, the freshman from Seattle, misses a 3, and it is out of bounds, but it'll stay at this end of the floor. Tommy Lloyd is pointing in his direction as if it should be Arizona ball, but the call is Texas Tech.
Modieus Krivas is on J.T. Toppin. Krivas, an excellent defender. And you've got a number of options to go on Toppin, but J.T. Toppin is a load to guard.
And Krivas is all of 7'2". So it'll be a challenge for Toppin to get some good looks over him. He switches to the right hand. Toppin is a lefty and usually does everything he can to get to that left hand. Missed on the follow as well, and here come the Cats.
And that's Krivas. That's why he's such a great defender. He can just wall up inside, make everything difficult.
Braden Burries, corner 3, and coming down for the rebound, Lawan Watts. And boy, with Texas Tech, love a big game from him. Kind of an undersized 4, but he figures to be a big key in this one. Offensive rebound, Petty.
Donovan Atwell, the lefty for Texas Tech, got free in transition. He's got to be #1 on your list to find in conversion.
One of the best three-point shooters in the nation. Anderson can shoot it as well, but a little strong on the 3. Bradley in his 3rd year here in Tucson after starting his career at Alabama. Just a winning player, makes big plays at big moments. Karchenkov, no. Krivas the gather, and he can't finish.
Just too far under the basket, but Krivas was magnificent in that game at Kansas.
Atwell a miss, and Koa Pete down with the board for Arizona. How important is pace in this game?
I think it's important to try to get the ball up court quickly to beat these defenses down the floor. And Jaden Bradley getting the first bucket of the game. He has improved almost immeasurably from his freshman year, which he played at the University of Alabama under Nate Oates. His mid-range game is terrific.
Anderson using the ball screen, getting the switch, missing the 3. Some pretty good looks early for Texas Tech. Again, a great three-point shooting team, but haven't been able to make one yet. And now a travel on Karchenkov.
They called it double dribble, actually. He dribbled it to try to collect it and then dribbled it again.
5th season here in Tucson for Tommy Lloyd after a great long run as one of Mark Few's assistants up at Gonzaga, the National Coach of the Year back in 2022. In his first 4 years, they have gone to the Sweet 16 3 times, but Jay, clearly they have higher aspirations than that this season.
Well, a lot of his teams have been built for Final Four, but this is the best shot under Tommy Lloyd they've had to win a title, and J.T. Toppin knocks down that shot. He's been shooting the ball better from the perimeter.
And from the free throw line, his numbers are actually even better in Big 12 play than they are overall. Krivas a save. Bradley somehow splits a pair, and a foul is called. Grant McCaslin in his 4th year as the 3rd year rather as the head coach in Lubbock. A long career at the junior college level, D2, an assistant at Baylor, Arkansas State, North Texas, and now Texas Tech. And McCaslin and Tommy Lloyd, Jay, they go way back, like 25 years back to when McCaslin was an assistant at a junior college and Tommy Lloyd an assistant at Gonzaga, and Lloyd would occasionally try to recruit one of McCaslin's players, and they've been good friends ever since. Coached together for USA Basketball a couple of times recently. Really good friends.
Well, coaches like Tommy Lloyd and Grant McCaslin make you feel really good about the future of college basketball because both are excellent leaders, excellent tacticians. You know, we've certainly lost a lot of great coaches that have gotten to the end of their careers, but these young coaches are fantastic.
By the way, an early sub for Texas Tech as Luke Bamboye is in for Lawan Watts. Came in moments ago.
Again, one thing JT Toppin doesn't get credit for, he's a great screener.
Strong drive by Karchenkov, but met at the rim by Toppin.
Called that. That is a vertical contest. He went straight up and strong. Good cut.
Petty the cut up and in with the left, and a pretty bounce pass to get it there from Anderson.
Karchenkov was looking at the ball trying to corral it, and that was a really smart cut by Petty.
Bradley guarded by Atwell. Pete trying to get open inside, knocked it a bounce. It still belongs to Arizona.
One of the players that Texas Tech has just knocked that ball away. Donovan Atwell does not get near the credit he deserves. One of the best three-point shooters in the country, and he's a good defender.
Yep. Top 5 in the nation, both in made threes and three-point percentage, as Bradley knocks one down to put the Wildcats back on top.
And give credit to Krivas for setting that screen to free up Bradley.
Toppin's hit one. This one is short. And although he can make them, I don't think Tommy Lloyd would mind seeing Toppin way out there during much of the game. Krivas could not corral the rebound, and here come the Red Raiders.
What a pass.
A spin by Toppin, another spin to make the pass, and Krivas with a weak side rebound.
Texas Tech is getting some open looks, both in transition and in the half court. They just haven't knocked them down.
1 for 8 today, 39% from 3 on the season, in the top 10 in the nation.
Make 11 per game. What a terrific hedge by Toppin.
And buries an aggressive drive, and it will draw the foul. A 1-point lead for Arizona, just getting going here. Have backloaded schedules. To Arizona's schedule from here to the end of the regular season is ridiculous. You want to get tested? You're going to get tested here in this league this year. Anthony Del Orso is in off the bench for the Wildcats. Tobe Awaka as well, but Krivas has it knocked away.
Great help by Christian Anderson coming down in the post to help knock that ball away. He doesn't get credit near enough for as physical as he is as a guard.
It'll be interesting to keep an eye on his minutes in Big 12 play as Petty misses a jumper. Anderson averages more than 39 minutes per game. Can they have him out there for that much in what is sure to be a very physical game here today? And if you like physical basketball, you like Tobe Awaka.
Tobe Awaka could jump into an NFL team right now. He is huge and one of the best rebounders in the country, especially per minute.
2 years at Tennessee, 2 here in Tucson. JT Toppin, that is a frequent shot for him. That short roll and a little 8 to 10 foot shot put.
And they operate in the middle of the floor where it's difficult to help, and they need to run more of that.
Awaka pulling his way inside and draws a foul.
Really nice footwork by Tobe Awaka to get right around Bamboye and pick up that foul. And this was a terrific outlet pass by Burries after the grab and the rebound. This is a heck of a catch in traffic by Awaka and finish. He started his career at Tennessee, but we're going to see a lot of this. Great pocket pass off the middle, pick and roll. And that means when you're in the middle of the floor, it's difficult for weak side help to get to you in that. And when they do, you know, JT Toppin is very good operating out of that short roll because he can hit a guy that is spaced out to shoot, and the spacing for this Texas Tech team is really good.
That foul was on Luke Bamboye, his second. He sits. Lawan Watts returns. Donovan Atwell has returned as well, and Arizona leads by 3. Anderson into the paint. Watts with a shot fake, trying to drive baseline, runs into the wall known as Awaka, and it's turned over by the Red Raiders.
Terrific job by Tobe Awaka not to go for those shot fakes and ball fakes of Lawan Watts. He is excellent at getting defenders off balance with his fakes. He had a little fake in the corner that opened up that drive, but Awaka able to get back around in front and then stayed between Watts and the basket because he didn't go for those fakes.
In 21 minutes per game, Awaka is almost averaging a double-double. Just under 10 points, just under 10 rebounds per game. Not a starter, but a selfless team-oriented guy who just wants to do whatever it takes to help his team win a game.
He plays just under 21 minutes, and he averages just under 10 rebounds a game. It is absurd. His offensive rebound rate is 22%. That leads the nation by 3 percentage points.
Karchenkov wide open, but can't knock down a three. And both teams getting good looks that they normally make, especially Texas Tech from beyond the arc. But we're off to a low-scoring start. Anderson will tie it up with a three.
Another great screen by J.T. Toppin.
Tell me why he's a great screener. What is it about his screens?
Well, it's a couple things. One, Christian Anderson waits for him to get set, but he sets it, he headhunts. He goes right into your body, and Karchenkov, who is a really good defender, went right into his chest, got held up.
Karchenkov, the 6'7" freshman from Germany, with the bucket to put Arizona back on top. One-on-one, Toppin and Krivas. Watts for three. Karchenkov the rebound.
Just getting it inside opens up so many things on the perimeter because Toppin will pass it back out, but you got to knock him down.
Del Orso takes a bump and finds his big man in Krivas. Jump hook, no. Awaka rebound. Off balance, yes.
Boy, Luwan Watts is just looking at the official going, what do you want me to do? Just getting overpowered.
That's 6'6", 225. Try to deal with 6'8", 250.
It's like having to block out a VW bus.
Anderson picks up his dribble, finds Toppin. Can he get a look over Krivas? Karchenkov down to help. Shot clock running down. Does Anderson know it? Hits it! He had no choice but to put it up, and he knocks it down.
Christian Anderson has ice water in his veins. Nothing throws him off. What a player.
And if you're talking about the best point guards in the nation, you better get to his name pretty soon. Karchenkov with a corner three for the Cats.
That all came down off ball reversal. When Arizona gets a ball reversal, their numbers go way up.
Arizona's only loss Monday night at Kansas. Anderson feeling it now, misses the three. Texas Tech 18-6, 8-3 in league play. They are ranked 16th in the nation. And as always, a great atmosphere. Del Orso pulls up for a three. Watts couldn't corral it. It comes to Karchenkov. And now Watts has it, and they're looking to run. Well, you got to close out on Atwell in a hurry. A kick ball is the call. So it will stay with Texas Tech as we go into a media timeout.
He says, I love you. The rest is history. That last picture was her soccer jersey, which currently hangs in Coach's office.
A dust storm, you say? That's not a story we hear often, but on Valentine's Day, great stuff, and we reminisced a little bit about it with Grant McCaslin before the game. It bounces to Toppin, and he slams it home to get the Red Raiders back within two.
But Braden Burry's made a great play defensively to knock that ball away, but J.T. Toppin just never quits on a play.
Jaden Bradley on the bench right now for Arizona, so Burry slides into more of a ball-handling role. Could not finish on the drive, but guess who came down with a rebound? It's a tie-up, and it'll stay at this end of the floor with Arizona.
Now, Braden Burries really reads this as a help side defender, knocks the ball away, but Toppin doesn't quit on it. Nawaka just over-pursued, left the basket wide open.
Toppin is one of these guys, you watch the game, and without fail, at the end of the game, you look at the numbers and you go, wow. Like there are no empty calories for J.T. Toppin when he's playing.
Boy, Koa Pete just made a really intelligent cut to get to the front of the rim. After the double, passed out to Awaka, and Pete, the freshman, right to the front of the rim. Really smart, and Awaka made a great pass to get it to him.
Pete at the line for two. Coming up next on ESPN, into the SEC we go at Bud Walton Arena. It'll be Auburn and number 21 Arkansas, another one of the great freshmen in the nation, Darius Acuff Jr. leading the way for the Hogs, and then Gonzaga and Santa Clara. That's a good game coming up later on tonight. Gonzaga won the first game by a dozen, but the Broncos have won 9 in a row. They are 13-1 in league play. Joe Lunardi, Jay, has them in the field right now, and nothing would boost their candidacy like a win over the Zags. Some good late night basketball on a Saturday as that is tipped out of bounds. Still belongs to Texas Tech.
Boy, Braden Burries again with another really good play. He is a really smart player. It's hard to believe he is only a freshman, leading this Arizona team in scoring. He's their top three-point shooter. His numbers are spectacular.
Getting better and better by the week as well. He got off to a bit of a slow start this year, but after about the first 5 or 6 games, he has been outstanding. His draft stock is climbing quickly. Karchenkov, no. And the rebound down to Josiah Mosley, a sophomore from Round Rock, Texas. A guy who just got healthy a few weeks ago, missed the first 19 games with an ankle injury. Tyree Bryant into the game for the Red Raiders as well. Grant McCaslin has more bodies at his disposal than he's had maybe at any point this season. That's a shot Toppin almost never misses.
What an amazing pass to get it into him. And you're right, he hardly ever misses that, especially with the left hand.
Del Orso, no, and both teams remain cold from beyond the arc.
And both teams getting open shots.
Again, the 3-ball, a much bigger part of Texas Tech's offense than Arizona's. Arizona's in the bottom 15 in the nation in terms of percentage of shots they take from 3. Bryant. Anderson. Contested 3. And look at Burry, skied for a rebound.
Braden Burries has a lot of game, and it's not just on the offensive end.
Awaka knocks down a 3. He's only taken 8 of them all season, but he's now made 5 of them. Timeout, Grant McCaslin. Tobe Awaka off the bench. Has been a challenge for the likes of Toppin and Anderson. This Texas Tech team so dependent on their starting 5. The starting 5 have scored 92% of their points in Big 12 play, and today Toppin and Anderson have 13 of the 15 points for the Red Raiders. Watts got his man in the air and draws a foul on Koa Pete. Let's listen in to the last timeout, the last huddle with Grant McCaslin.
Every possession, you can't. It's not a stock game, dude. They're big, they're physical, they cover space, so they'll replace something and put them in space. You gotta help us so. Make it more decisive and make it quicker. You gotta be ready to punch and play, man.
I think the last line was, we got to be ready to punch or take a punch, something. This is a take a punch kind of game. Arizona is not 23-1 by accident. And Jay, they're also one of the biggest and most physical teams, especially in the front court.
Which means it's a spacing game. That on every pass, Texas Tech has to make sure its spacing is right so they can spread out this Arizona defense. One of the problems is you set a ball screen and Krivas is guarding you and he hedges on it. He covers up the sun.
Back to Chris.
One of the other things that Grant McCaslin mentioned in that timeout was their lack of offensive rebounding. He looked at his guys and said, you're just standing there watching while Braden Burries goes 2 feet in the air. He said, we cannot take off possessions in this type of game.
They are not nearly as good of a rebounding team as Arizona is, but can they hold their own on the glass? That figures to be a big factor in this game. Karchenkov down to Krivas, got rid of it quickly. Nicely done. It's a 7-point lead.
Krivas just rolled right out of that screen in the slot. And his touch has improved from his freshman year.
The lob up top, and Krivas a foul.
And that's a foul that Tommy Lloyd does not mind. Let him know you're there. Just don't give him anything easy. But Krivas sets this screen for Karchenkov, just rolls right down the lane line and had his hands ready, and that's a very nice touch. He showed some offense in that Kansas game in Allen Fieldhouse. that was really impressive, especially that left-hand finish he had along the lane line. He had 14 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists, and 6 blocks against the Jayhawks. Amazing.
Luke Bamboye misses wide right by then some on that first free throw. Hey, College Game Day covered by State Farm at 8 Eastern tonight. A huge women's game between South Carolina and LSU. It all gets going at 8:30 Eastern time on ABC and the ESPN app. Bamboye straightened it out, figured it out, and makes one of 2. He's a good shot blocker, good defensive player. He heads back to the bench. Toppin, who doesn't sit much, returns.
Well, Bamboye being back healthy gives a chance for Graham McCaslin just to get even if it's a short blow, get a little bit of rest to Toppin. What a move by Bradley.
Bradley initiated the contact, took a bump, couldn't finish, and is a little bit caught behind the play. But Burries comes up with a steal. And he will head to the line. Another very good defensive play by Braden Burries.
Braden Burries is a baller from San Bernardino, California. Was all CIF in high school. And his awareness just is almost like a free safety there. He read the eyes of Christian Anderson on that bounce pass to Toppin and just backed up and got a hand in the passing lane to get that steal. That's a big-time defensive play by the freshman.
How about their last 3 games against ranked opponents? Alabama, BYU, Kansas. In those 3 games, he has scored 82 points. He is not putting up numbers just against the weaker teams. And again, a freshman whose stock is rising week by week. Somebody's going to get this guy maybe towards the back end of the lottery and come up with a player who, in my estimation, looks like he's going to be a star at the next level.
Well, he's second in the country among freshmen in plus minus to Cam Boozer of Duke. He does more than just score.
Anderson got the switch.
What a pass.
And a 3 will finally go down. A much needed 3 as Leon Horner, a sophomore from Dallas, who just plays a few minutes here and there. Remember, he made a couple of 3s in the win over Duke in the game we had in December back in New York.
A little different look with a zone for Texas Tech.
Awaka couldn't finish, and a nice save by Horner. And then a foul by Bradley, who is down. Or was it a foul? I don't think it was a foul call.
I thought it was
actually.
a walk.
Yeah, it is a walk on Anderson. My mistake. And Jaden Bradley slow to get up.
Yeah, Jaden Bradley right there as he was coming down. He took a shot there below the belt. James Westfall and Dr. Kenneth Noisewater.
Bradley will be given a little bit of extra time to gather himself. Yes, he does. 5-point lead, Arizona. Coming off the loss at Kansas Monday night, their first of the season. Good ball movement, crisp ball movement, but now Krivas surrounded. Open man, Karchenkov. Boy, and has he had good looks in this game, but he just has not been finding the range consistently.
Jaden Bradley guarding Christian Anderson. Bradley, a really good defender.
Burries a little bit too aggressive as he's called for a reach-in foul.
Anderson baited him into that. Took him on the switch, switched up into his body, and just reached around. Anderson is so good at getting a defender on his hip and keeping him there. He gets an advantage, keeps the advantage, and then exploits the advantage.
And what a giant leap forward he has taken this year. A very good player last year as a freshman, but Elijah Hawkins on the team, not the primary point guard Anderson, so his assist numbers have gone from just over 2 to almost 8 per game. Cross-court look. Shot clock running down. Got it off in time, but the rebound for Awaka.
Boy, Awaka did a nice job defensively on that ball reversal.
Pull up from 15. Braden Burries again.
He can operate as a point guard in transition. His stroke is so pure. He shoots over 51% from the field, largely because of that pull-up jumper.
Atwell has not been able to get loose for 3s so far, and that's a big part of the Red Raiders offense.
Braden Burry's bringing it up in transition. That is just a pure stroke. You watch him shoot it in practice and warm-ups. It's just swish after swish.
Anderson finds Toppin, who lays it in.
Boy, and gave it to him at just the last second between two defenders, Krivas and Bradley. What a great pass by Christian Anderson.
Toppin and Anderson both Wooden late season top 20 candidates. Texas Tech, the only team with 2 players on that final 20 list. 8 of the 20, by the way, come from the Big 12. Another indication of how great this league is this year.
Especially at the top. More contending teams in this league than any other.
Anderson, nice find for Watts. All alone, knew he missed it, followed it, but couldn't get it.
Numbers for Arizona.
Bradley. Back out to Del Orso with just over 4 minutes remaining in the half. Into Awaka, and it will stay with Arizona with a timeout on the floor. 3:56 to go. Number 1, number 16 here in Tucson can give them here today. They have not gotten much from the supporting cast. Anthony Del Orso, who until a couple of games ago was mired in a deep shooting slump, knocks down a mid-range jumper. This is a guy who started most of last year and can definitely be a weapon off the bench.
Really good play call after the timeout.
Anderson with another 3.
And another great screen by JT Toppin to free him up. That's a screen assist. One of those invisible plays that is so important for Texas Tech.
5th 3 now in 18 attempts for the Red Raiders.
Got Luke Bamboye just grabbing the arm of Modieus Krivas when he was going to set that screen.
And that'll be 3 on Bamboye, and it'll also send Krivas to the line as Arizona is now into the bonus. So Bamboye's got to come out, and Lawan Watts will check back in.
And now is your time to say, Dan, as you do just about every game, Krivas shoots 80% from the line. A really good free throw shooter for a big guy, which I think is discriminatory, frankly.
So this wasn't about a jinx. This was about, I thought we were headed into jinx territory. This was more about, oh, you did it. This was more about bad talking big guys. Krivas, not a lot of space under there, and he will take some steps and turn it over. They're doing a good job surrounding him, and even though he's 7'2", he's not getting clean looks.
Well, you have to give credit to Texas Tech and their defense. They have made it really difficult for Arizona in the paint, where they score the majority of their points. And Arizona's done a great job on Texas Tech from the three-point line.
Atwell, boy, would they love to get him some looks. Again, one of the best three-point shooters in the nation. Anderson rises up and hits again, and he has the Red Raiders back within 1.
And guess who set the screen? JT Toppin freed him up again, picking off Jaden Bradley.
Anderson with 4 threes, 12 points, 5 assists.
They got to look inside. Krivas has been open.
Here's Awaka, and he is fouled.
Christian Anderson, when he's getting a screen from JT Toppin, just a little get action. Look how much space is created by that screen, and that means Krivas has to go off on him. That's going to open up the role for JT Toppin. And then if you help, all of a sudden Donovan Atwell's open.
Awaka misses the first. Anderson has been everything for the Red Raiders today. They've got 28 points. And he has scored or assisted on 24 of those 28.
And that's one of the reasons he plays about 38 minutes a game. You can't take him out. He's just too good.
Awaka 65% from the line on the season, missed them both. And don't look now, but the Red Raiders can take the lead.
Well, the game's on TV. They can look anytime they want. What a pass.
Toppin again from Anderson. Texas Tech on top.
Just picking him apart with Jaden Bradley on his hip. We talked about that on game day this morning. On full display from Christian Anderson.
Burries has it tipped away. And now out of bounds. It'll stay with the Wildcats.
When Christian Anderson gets a defender on his hip, he keeps him there. Watch how he stops and then just shoots it right past Awaka. You got to get a hand down to take away that pocket pass. That's easy to say and hard to do. And doesn't that look like Antoine Jamison the way he finishes those?
There's a lot of fight in this Red Raiders team. We mentioned the win over Duke in December. They were so depleted with injuries. Came back from a 17-point deficit. Boy, how about that turnaround from Bradley? And then Texas Tech also with a win over Houston. Overcame 42 from Kingston Flemings. We got a good one going here in Tucson. Toppin looking for Anderson.
Yeah, good job by Bradley not letting Anderson get it back after he gave it up.
Anderson again with 10 to shoot. Another screen from Toppin. Got the switch. Driving on Pete and a foul. Koa Pete called for the foul.
Just got that hand on his hip.
His second, just the fourth on the team. Getting ready for the Jeep halftime report. Who's kidding who? Reese Davis was born ready. Reese and the fellas. Jay Will and Seth Greenberg going to tell you all about Iowa State's win over Kansas, Florida's win over Kentucky, and all the great action around the country so far today.
Reese Davis, the finest toupee in broadcasting.
Corner, the spin. Got it! What a shot!
Boy, just when you think you've played great defense, and Texas Tech now with the lead.
In the final minute of the first half.
Boy, smart by Jaden Bradley not to pick that ball up now that Arizona can get the final shot.
The game clock kept running, but the shot clock doesn't run until he picks it up. And now they can basically go right down to the final buzzer here at the end of the first half.
Still need a block out here at Texas Tech.
A quiet half for Koa Pete. Knocked away. Anderson called for the foul, and Pete will go to the free throw line for 1 and 1.
Koa Pete shoots about 61% from the line. What a debut he had against Florida. 30 points, 5 assists, 7 rebounds. It's too bad he didn't have any success in high school. Only 4 state championships.
Right. You talk about announcing your presence with authority. To do that, and you said it, but to do that against Florida in your debut, that front line, I mean, that was an eye-opener for everybody who follows the sport. Florida, by the way, starting to look like an incredibly dangerous team, playing better and better, getting more buckets from the guards. We know about the front court. The defending champs look like they may be a real handful the rest of the way. A foul on Awaka.
Not a bad foul because Arizona had a foul to give.
And still have one more to give right now. With 7.7 seconds remaining in the half. Watts. Up into the front court, into the paint. Karchenkov picks his pocket. And almost hit it from about 55 feet away. And
in this being a tie game.
Let's check in with Chris.
Grant McCaslin told me I like their scrappiness, I like their competitiveness, and a lot of that came from Christian Anderson at the end of the first half. He said I had to motivate him. Felt like he had some open shots, but was second guessing himself. Said, but I told my team in the locker room, I need a third guy. It can't just be Anderson and JT Toppin in this second half.
They trailed by as many as 8, and now they've got their largest lead of the game as guess who? Anderson knocks down another one.
And again, JT Toppin picks off Karchenkov.
And here's a steal by JT Toppin. Trying to take it all the way. He draws a foul, I believe, on Jaden Bradley. Meanwhile, we notice that Tobe Awaka is starting the second half for Arizona. And as we look to the Wildcats bench, I do not see Koa Pete anywhere, who normally is the starter.
Well, Koa Pete certainly struggled in that first half. Didn't really get a shot attempt. Shot a few free throws, but that was it.
Toppin misses the first. He has been shooting free throws much better in conference play. He was 45% from the line heading into conference play. Came into this game 77% in Big 12 games, and a guy who obviously spends a lot of time at the free throw line. That foul on Burries, his second, by the way. Back to Chris.
I can confirm that Koa Pete is out for the remainder of this game, dealing with a lower body injury.
Wow, that is a big loss. They do have Tobe Awaka playing great, but no Koa Pete. Thank you, Chris, for the rest of this game.
Well, Tobe Awaka just went right into the body of the defender and got fouled hard, but still was able to complete the play. You talk about strength. That was impressive by Tobe Awaka.
Let's talk about the Arizona rotation right now. Tommy Lloyd has had a very tight 8-man rotation. We know now from Chris, Koa Pete out for the rest of the game, lower body injury. Dwayne Aristode, who is the 8th man in that 8-man rotation, is out with an illness. So Arizona may be down to 6 players who get regular minutes. We'll see if Tommy Lloyd has to go a little bit deeper into his bench. Watch the kick. Anderson open on the wing, and he's got another one.
Just spectacular ball movement. Terrific pass by Jalen Petty after catching it in the corner.
You see Koa Pete back on the bench, but he's got a hoodie on, and as Chris just told us, has been ruled out for the rest of this game.
Another really good hedge by Toppin to recover back to Krivas.
Bradley in the corner. The 3 won't go.
Well, Texas Tech is really showing a lot of bodies to Arizona and packing the paint and forcing Arizona to look at a perimeter shot rather than get it inside.
And here's Anderson again. He's got 6 made threes in the game. Around a screen. Finds Toppin. Everything but the finish.
He doesn't miss many of those, especially with the left hand.
Awaka hit a 3 earlier. Jump stop finds Karchenkov. And Anderson is called for the foul, and that'll be number 2 on Christian Anderson.
Just the right hand rake across the arms of Ivan Karchenkov, and those two know each other well from playing in Germany.
Karchenkov born in Russia, but the family moved to Germany when he was just 1. His dad, a former pro player in Russia, had a long coaching career in Germany, so that's where Ivan Karchenkov grew up. Wide open, Lawan Watts. And Awaka, another rebound.
Well, Jalen Petty went after that ball. He is a fighter.
Good cut, great find, and a chance for 3.
Because Petty had gone off to that rebound and hit the deck, he was late getting down court. Arizona realized it, got it to Karchenkov, and what a finish by the freshman, who's one of the best defenders in the country. Not a smart play by Petty. Got beat in transition, then compounded that by fouling Karchenkov when there was no way he was going to stop that bucket.
3 on the freshman Jalen Petty. Karchenkov at the line. Tommy Lloyd told us yesterday at practice he loves Karchenkov. He's looking for ways to get him more involved. They've got a lot of scorers here, a lot of guys who could really contribute offensively, but Tommy Lloyd definitely feels that Karchenkov is even better, Jay, than maybe the numbers suggest.
Yeah, he's got more in him. He's got 14 double-figure scoring games on the season. Really good at Kansas. I mean, he had 13 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 steals in Allen Fieldhouse.
JT Toppin looks like he is cut. So getting a little work done at the end of the Texas Tech bench. And how long will the officials give the Red Raiders to get this sorted out? And now I think Grant McCaslin is being told he got to put somebody else in the game, but it looked like they finished just in time to get Toppin back in there. The Arizona fans didn't like that delay.
I always thought when you're bleeding you get a little bit of extra time, but
left it short. Krivas the rebound. And a foul.
Well, that ball came off so hard that Bamboye really had no chance to get it. You're thinking about blocking out a guy 7'2" and strong. And that thing just shot right off the front of the rim, straight down.
And this is something to keep an eye on now. Anderson with 2 quick fouls here in the second half, 3 on the game. Bamboye playing with 3. Krivas, how are you going to stop that?
Just great poise by Krivas to get to that left shoulder, right hand along the baseline.
Just better in so many ways, Jay, than he was a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, and that's the maturity to show poise in the post and take your time when you got single coverage.
Awaka trying to stay in front of Anderson, and he does. And then a steal by Burries.
Boy, Burries has had a great game as a help defender.
To the baseline. Short. Bouncing around. And it's Toppin who comes up with it.
Got to walk it with a foul.
Yep. Number 2 on Tobe Awaka, and with Koa Pete out for the rest of the game. Tobe Awaka may not come off the floor.
Donovan Atwell at Texas Tech, the lefty, who's the most prolific three-point shooter in the Big 12. He needs to get more movement on the offensive end, not just space the floor, but operate more as a cutter to get some advantage situations. Remember those 2 big threes he hit against Houston? That changed the game.
He is a weapon. He's a guy who can go for 20+ in any given game. Anderson, a deep one. Not close, and Del Orso down with it. Jaden Bradley. Krivas looking inside. Awaka's unguarded. And is fouled. No, it's a travel on Tobe Awaka.
Awaka just gave a little bit of a hop there. You don't often see this called. Yeah, that's surprising. He had Anderson on him to start in a high-low, and Arizona just didn't get him the ball.
4 minutes into the second half, all tied up. The 3 is short for Atwell. He's still looking for his first make of the game.
And that was contested by Jaden Bradley.
Good show there by Bamboye. Recovers. Now Krivas. Surrounded.
They got Anderson.
Yeah, is that Anderson? It is Christian Anderson. He got called for a cylinder foul there, being too close. Meanwhile, big news. That foul that was called on Christian Anderson, it has been changed. It is now on Luke Bamboye, so it is Bamboye's 4th. But Anderson still has just 3, and that is very good news for Grant McCaslin. Del Orso, no. Awaka the save. But it's Texas Tech ball.
Boy, Awaka is just posting up down low, and he is a load to try to stay in front of.
A lot of contact between Toppin and Karchenkov. Toppin trying to go to work. Kicks it back out to Horner.
Texas Tech got him a clear out on the right side of the floor.
Atwell, step back. And there is his first 3 of the game.
Tobe Awaka had to switch off on him, and Atwell, the lefty, who is a great three-point shooter, got him with the step back to create that space.
3 years at UNC Greensboro, excuse me, and as we mentioned, a great shooter. Another Texas Tech foul, this one going on Atwell. Tonight at 8 Eastern on ABC, the Women's College Game Day crew will be in Baton Rouge to get you set for the biggest game of the night. It'll be number 3 South Carolina and number 6 LSU. LSU averaging better than 96 points per game, number 1 in the nation, as Anthony Del Orso ties it up.
That's the second time in this game on out of bounds underneath. He's come off that stagger to get a catch and shoot on the move. Here's that clear out.
And again, Toppin kicks it back out. It'll be Burries called for the foul.
Take a look here at Anthony Del Orso. All right, he's going to get a staggered screen here from Krivas and Awaka. and Christian Anderson has to take the long route around, just late getting there. That happened in the first half. Del Orso got an open shot, and in the second half out of bounds underneath, and that can be the difference in a game like this, those two possessions.
Jay, how about how good this league is at the top? How many Final Four contenders there are as Atwell misses way long. Iowa State exacted a measure of revenge on Kansas today. Beat him soundly up in Ames. Houston rolled to a win over Kansas State. You got these two teams. Every time you turn around, there's a great game in the Big 12.
And the top of this league is all Final Four contenders.
TCU picked up a big road win today at Oklahoma State. Joe Lunardi moved them into the field after that game. A travel against Texas Tech gives the ball back to Arizona with a chance to retake the lead.
Dan, Texas Tech has done a great job of packing the paint against Arizona, but what they really need to do is quit fouling. Their bodies are there. Stop reaching, or they're going to be putting Arizona at the foul line the rest of this game.
6 fouls to just 3 for Arizona. Karchenkov missed a chippy.
Boy, just short-armed that thing right next to the basket with the right hand.
He is now just 3 for 11 from the floor in this game. Atwell from 18, no. Toppin just won a battle with Owaka going after the rebound.
Boy, Toppin is a great offensive rebounder, averages about 4 offensive rebounds a game, and when he gets his mitts on it, it is tough for anybody to take it away from him. Those two strong guys, but he just grabbed it right from Owaka.
And it was called a held ball there, so the possession arrow gives it to Arizona. That ball wasn't tied up for very long.
It wasn't tied up at all.
Yeah. A break there for the Wildcats, perhaps. Burries. Del Orso. Just a tiny bit short, and it's down to Anderson.
But Krivas there for the offensive rebound. Toppin just knocked it away from him.
Watts into the midsection of Krivas, and a foul against Krivas.
Smart by Texas Tech to get the ball up the court quickly before Arizona could set their defense. And the referee saying that Mo Krivas just didn't have legal guarding position when he made that contact.
Don't forget, 2 more games coming your way next on ESPN. Auburn and Arkansas from Bud Walton Arena. Auburn to beat Arkansas by 22 the first time they played them a month ago, and then the night is capped off. Number 12 Gonzaga and Santa Clara.
Darius Acuff Jr. of Arkansas in conference play, averaging 23 points and 6.5 assists a game. Both those lead the Southeastern Conference in conference play.
To say that this freshman class this year around the nation is ridiculously good is actually not enough of a compliment. There are so many. It is so deep. They are so poised, and so many of them are in leading roles for contending teams.
You know, Dan, Grant McCaslin likes to say that the tougher team wins. And Texas Tech showing a tremendous amount of toughness in this game.
Toppin battling with Owaka again, and Owaka wins it.
I think Grant McCaslin saying, "Oh, that wasn't tied up."
Karchenkov is fouled on the drive. Owaka a little bit slow to get up. May have slipped on a wet spot again, battling for that ball. Remember, Koa Pete is out for the rest of the game with a lower body injury. Tommy Lloyd desperately needs Owaka to be able to stay on the floor. The foul on Jalen Petty. It's his 4th. But Petty will stay, at least for now. The freshman from Seattle moved into the starting lineup about 12 games ago, and Jay, he has been a great performer for them in conference play.
Well, he's made 46 threes on the season. That 20-point game he had against Houston was outstanding, and he's played some point guard when Christian Anderson was out.
Owaka sits, and Sidi Gay, a 6'11 freshman from Senegal, is into the game for the first time today for Arizona. He has appeared in 16 games for a total of 52 minutes on the season. And right now he's guarding one of the best players in the country in JT Toppin.
Well, he played the JT Toppin role in practice yesterday on the scout team. Now he's got to guard him.
Anderson off the back of the iron. As Petty went crashing into the first row of seats trying to save that ball, and fortunately we hope that so many weapons, so many good players, such a great rotation. It's going to be fun.
Well, Yaxel Lendeborg, one of the best players in the country, transferred into Michigan from UAB. He's going up against Cam Boozer. That's going to be a great matchup.
Gay gathers and scores.
C.D. Gay showing some strength against JT Toppin. Didn't give up on the play. Goes up with that left hand off the glass. They needed that.
Playing because they are short on bodies right now due to illness and injury. Toppin has it deflected. Toppin gets it back. Toppin scores.
So explosive. Once he gets a step and gets to that right shoulder, boy, he shoots such a high percentage around the rim.
And it's tied up yet again. Bradley taking matters into his own hands. Arizona back on top.
Boy, Jaden Bradley had to negotiate so many bodies to get that off the glass. What a big time play by the senior.
Anderson, who's already got 6 threes in this game, into Watts, who's got a chance for 3.
What a great duck in by Lawan Watts. Went right into the body of Ivan Karchenkov. And Karchenkov, who is an excellent defender, needed to be a little bit more alert to stop that duck in.
And Watts with his first field goal of the game. Tobe Awaka, who left the game, is back in. You can see Karchenkov going to the bench. Awaka returns. Krivas is in as well.
Boy, and Awaka has been a man among men in this game. What, 12 points and 8 rebounds?
Watts has had some very big games for the Red Raiders this year. Had 20 in the win over Duke, 19 and 12 against Kansas.
He's got his hands full right now having to guard Tobe Awaka down low.
Del Orso. Burries. Good recovery by Petty. Remember, he's playing with 4. 5 to shoot. Bradley. Contested 3, and it's over the backboard and Arizona ball. No, one of the officials.
I thought Watts hit that.
I did too, but Darren White at midcourt overruled the baseline official. But now Greg Nixon, who was on the baseline, said, no, I was close, I got it. Arizona ball.
Now you got to watch Del Orso. They're in the same alignment where he got a couple of buckets.
Underneath Burries, and he's fouled. Into the last tunnel with Grant McCaslin.
3 than 2. But he's a good defender, throws his body around, and not having him available is going to be difficult for Texas Tech down the stretch.
That brings Leon Horner, the 6'4" sophomore from Dallas, back into the game.
In this second half, Arizona's done a good job off ball screens and dealing with Christian Anderson.
Timeout. Grant McCaslin with 10:20 to go here in the second half in a back and forth affair. Valentine's Day, Love Day, and a close game. Arizona suffering its only defeat in its last game Monday night at Kansas, and getting all they can handle right now from Texas Tech as Watts misses a floater.
Well, I thought Watts could have got that ball to JT Toppin coming in from the dunker spot. He set the screen out top, had Toppin along the baseline.
Burries can't find an opening. Bradley elevates around and out. And it belongs to Texas Tech. We check in with Chris.
Graham McCaslin in that last timeout, reminding his guys the importance of rebounding. He said, you guys, I want you to go to the rim when the ball's in the air instead of waiting for the ball to come towards you.
He knows they're undersized compared to Arizona, one of the best rebounding teams in the nation.
Boy, really good rebound by Braden Burries.
How good is that? Burries at the other end for three.
Just a rip and run, and gets the three in transition. He hasn't had his best scoring game, but his defense has been on point.
9 points, 4 rebounds, and a couple of assists right now for Burries.
Well, how much contact was there between Awaka and Christian Anderson right there with no call? It's like running into a brick wall.
Yeah, we know who felt more of it. Atwell to Anderson. Oh, and what a play by Bradley, and a foul on Atwell.
I thought Bradley got all ball before the contact.
No, did they call it on Bradley?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I thought they called it on Atwell after the steal. My mistake. It's on Bradley.
See, I thought he got ball first before any contact. Yeah, that ball was loose. I think that was a good steal.
Watts with Krivas on him.
Good switch by Del Orso right up into Anderson.
Watts trying to drive Krivas. 2 to shoot. Anderson got the rim, but the rebound belongs to Burries. Deep in the corner, Bradley. That is partially blocked by Anderson. Bradley yelling for a foul.
Boy, what a wrestling match between Toppin and Krivas down low.
Awaka switches on to Anderson. Anderson shoos Toppin away. He wants some space. Will he drive him? Can't get by him. Into Watts. Followed by Toppin.
When Krivas came over to block the shot, that opened up the offensive glass for JT Toppin.
And the Red Raiders back within 1.
This is like a heavyweight fight.
Krivas spins on Toppin. And a foul. It'll be just the presence he's ever gotten. It was a great time. We were there and had a terrific time. We appreciate Mixmaster Mike's hospitality, Tommy Lloyd's hospitality. It was a good time for all.
I was impressed with how you got into it.
I enjoy things in a subtler way. It was great.
It was awesome.
It was so much fun. And we were maybe, like, not exaggerating, 10 feet from Mixmaster Mike. And I mean, he was working it. He was working up a sweat. It is a very physical thing. There we are. Look at us. It's our producer, Joe Taylor, on the left, along with Chris and myself and Mixmaster Mike.
And our director, Mike Roy, doesn't make any of the photos. Really sad.
And here he is watching the game. He's become a very good friend of Tommy Lloyd's. On his feet here with Arizona now up by 3.
Important possession for Texas Tech. They need a score here.
Toppin and Awaka again. Toppin wins.
Boy, Lawan Watts made a really nice drop-off pass to Toppin. Watts had Krivas on him, and that's like shooting over the Great Wall.
As physical and strong as Awaka is, do you think Toppin prefers that to the height and length of Krivas?
I don't know. It's not a great choice.
It's a tough choice. Burries knocks down a 3.
Boy, Braden Burries just has so much game. He is unafraid.
Again, Krivas on Watts and Awaka on Toppin. Atwell a little short on the floater.
Numbers. Boy, Atwell has really struggled from the field. I think he's 1 of 8.
Bradley. Burries. Lost it, and it is out of bounds, but will stay with Arizona.
Atwell with great hands to knock that ball away from Braden Burries. who made a nice little shot fake in that left corner to put it on the deck.
And you are correct. Atwell 1 of 8, just 3 points today. He averages 12 and a half as the lead grows for the Wildcats off the inbounds.
If Arizona winds up winning this game, it is going to be their out-of-bounds underneath execution that is the difference. They've gotten 3 easy buckets, 2 by Del Orso and that one.
This time it'll go for Watson. Yet another assist for Anderson. He's now got 8 of them to go with his 18 points.
Arizona needs to keep getting the ball into the paint. They have to have the mindset of getting downhill and getting the ball inside. How is that not a foul?
That's what Jaden Bradley wants to know.
Wow. I mean, come on.
.12 on the shot clock. Here's Bradley. Good D by Atwell. Karchenkov baseline. Fadeaway. Short. And it's Toppin who rips it free for the Red Raiders.
Boy, how hard is JT Toppin working on that end of the floor?
And as we so often see, Grant McCaslin can ill afford to take Anderson or Toppin out of the game very much at all. Not this time for Anderson. The rebound, Toppin. And a foul. Can hardly hear the whistle here in Tucson, but it'll be Toppin to the line.
The activity level of JT Toppin is frankly amazing. That long rebound, just grabbing it right over the top of Mo Krivas. And then getting the foul, going back up again.
No Koa Pete. Out for the remainder of the game with a lower body injury. No Dwayne Aristote, out with an illness. Short bench for Arizona. Tomorrow afternoon, we have a great women's college basketball doubleheader on ABC. Number 11 Duke hosts number 21 North Carolina at 1 Eastern. And then 4th-ranked Texas takes on number 22 Tennessee in Knoxville. 1 of 2. Krivas the rebound. 5 minutes to go in regulation. Bradley, such a good decision maker. Karchenkov floats it in. Krivas, yes.
Really good job by Krivas to get out of that screening action down low along the lane line, and great hands.
Arizona by 5. Anderson finds Watts. And Krivas defends it.
Boy, there was a lot of arm there in addition to the ball.
Bradley slips, but a foul is called.
Bradley with a nice little crossover, but Mo Krivas getting out of that screening action with 3 on the ball and doing a nice job of turning toward that left shoulder and getting that right hand hook to go. Boy, that's a lot of arm there. A lot of arm.
And I think a warning to just kind of settle down a little bit, given to both Krivas and Toppin. The foul on Toppin, his 3rd. Bradley at the line, 80% on the season.
Boy, Jaden Bradley's had a spectacular year. Just the maturity with which he plays. Never gets frazzled. Plays with great poise.
And a correction on the foul, not on Toppin. It goes on Horner, his first. 6-point lead. Nearing the 4-minute mark.
Arizona's attention needs to be with Christian Anderson. You can't let him get free.
Burry's staying with him. Anderson bumped by Krivas.
Boy, just body seeking right into Krivas to pick up that foul.
It'll be Christian Anderson at the line in a 6-point game when we return. And keeping him in the game. Anderson misses the first. Hits the second. It's a 5-point game.
And how much gas in the tank does Texas Tech have when they play such a short rotation and they're playing on the road against the #1 team in the country?
Bradley buries, air ball, Awaka, shovel pass, Krivas.
Boy, what a beautiful pass by Tobe Awaka. Just huge bodies underneath for Arizona.
Tobe Awaka has been great today for Arizona, but just committed a foul to send JT Toppin to the line.
Yeah, you don't want to reach around the outside of Toppin there. You're going to pick up a foul, and even if you don't, Toppin's going to have inside position to get to the rim. Beautiful pass by Tobe Awaka after that offensive rebound.
The foul on Awaka is his 4th. Toppin 56% from the line, but again much better in conference play as the injured Koa Pete looks on. Awaka is going out, maybe briefly, but he is heading to the bench right now. And Watts will sit for Texas Tech as Bamboye returns.
So Arizona gets smaller.
Toppin hits the front end. Another huge game for Toppin, who has barely come out here today. I don't believe Anderson has come out. And Toppin makes them both. .21 and 10 for Toppin, right around his averages.
Well, Bamboye will be guarding Krivas. He's given up a lot of size.
Over to help is Toppin. Krivas, no. Bamboye had it and gathers it. And Texas Tech can cut into the deficit.
Now Karchenkov guarding Christian Anderson with his size. Now they switched off.
Anderson driving Bradley. Can't get all the way to the rim. Toppin spins back to his left, and the soft touch to make it a 3-point game.
He is always going to spin back to that left hand, and you're right. What a magnificent touch around the rim.
23 now for JT Toppin. Timeout, Tommy Lloyd. We're back in
Front court than JT Toppin.
Big 12 Player of the Year a season ago. Second team All-American. Toppin and Anderson have combined for 42 of the Red Raiders' 61 points. Arizona much more balanced. Nobody with more than 12.
Tobe Awaka back in the ball game. He and Toppin are going to be going head to head.
2 minutes to go. Bradley short. Atwell might have gotten a piece of it. It's out of bounds to Arizona. The Red Raiders players are asking their coach, their bench, to challenge this.
Well, Tobe Awaka just reached around the shoulder of JT Toppin. Not sure what.
Bradley to inbound. 6 on the shot clock. Into Burries. Couldn't finish it. Awaka. And we have a tie-up between Awaka and I think it was Bamboye initially. And the possession arrow will give it to the Red Raiders.
Almost another score by Arizona. Braden Burries had a point-blank range on out-of-bounds underneath. That has been a separating factor in this game. Arizona's execution on out-of-bounds underneath situations.
Karchenkov on Anderson on this trip.
Not letting him turn the corner off these pick and rolls.
Anderson back to Atwell. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Atwell off the back of the iron, but Toppin the rebound. Anderson, a clean look from the wing, but he couldn't hit it.
Well, you wonder if fatigue is a little bit of a factor. Best time to shoot a three, and that would have tied it, is after an offensive rebound.
Anderson has played every second in this game. Toppin and Atwell have sat for just 1 minute each. Bradley puts his head down, drives, blocked. Atwell, I think.
What a play by Atwell with the left hand, sticking with Jaden Bradley and angling him out, not letting him get to the rim.
The Wildcats lead by 3. Everybody standing here at McHale. Burries no, and Atwell the rebound. And an Arizona foul. Is it Karchenkov? It is. It is his second. And it's a couple of free throws coming now for the Red Raiders.
Boy, not a good foul by Arizona. Reaching in from behind after Donovan Atwell secured that rebound off the miss by Burries. And Donovan Atwell is an excellent free throw shooter, about 86%.
Needed the rim, but gets it done to make it a 2-point game. All Koa Pete can do is look on. Has not played in the second half. A lower body injury. Atwell makes it a 1-point game. Texas Tech has already beaten Duke and Houston this year. Can they hand a loss to Arizona? Bradley. Tipped. No! And Anderson has it for Texas Tech.
Boy, they got Bradley going downhill, but just couldn't finish, and what a rebound by Anderson.
Each team with 1 timeout remaining. Grant McCaslin will not use his here. Open is Atwell. Got it! He buries a corner 3 to put the Red Raiders up by 2.
Shades of the game against Houston. Arizona was able to get Jaden Bradley downhill to the basket. And all 5 guys have to defensive rebound, especially with Tobe Awaka in the game.
Bradley into the front court. Shot clock turned off. Awaka swings it to Karchenkov. And a foul called on Leon Horner that will send Karchenkov to the line.
Horner got his body in front of Karchenkov, but just reached. He reached for that right hand, picked up the foul, and Grant McCaslin telling his guys, box out. Move on to the next play. Just not a smart reach here. Stay between your man and the basket and do not foul.
Karchenkov 72% on the season. 1 more to tie it.
Right now it's about a free throw block out.
Made them both. Texas Tech does have a timeout remaining. And Grant McCaslin is going to let him play. Into the final seconds of regulation.
Got the switch. Awaka on Anderson.
Anderson gets it off, and we are going to overtime here in Tucson. Toppin, Anderson. Anderson hasn't sat at all. Toppin and Atwell have missed less than a minute of this game. Red Raiders ball.
Ivan Karchenkov going against Christian Anderson. Got the switch. Now he's guarding Toppin.
Toppin left it short. Toppin got it back and hits.
Boy, just so quick off the floor. I mean, as soon as that ball hit his hands, it was gone.
Burries crossing over on Anderson. Beautifully done, and it's tied again.
Well, Tobe Awaka did a great job of screening off help to get Burries open for that shot off the glass.
Again, Toppin and Karchenkov.
Isolation.
Anderson to the baseline, cut off by Awaka.
Awaka's doing a good job guarding in space.
Toppin somehow spun into some free space and banks it in.
Well, you're so worried about him getting to the left hand. Karchenkov just gave too much space, taking away the left and opened up the pivot to his right.
Great footwork by Toppin.
He's seen every defense imaginable to stop him.
Burries to the line for a couple.
Well, JT Toppin just posting up, even though he's pushed off the lane so quick, and then Karchenkov trying to keep him away from that left hand, and he winds up pivoting back, almost a drop step through to get to the bucket.
Let's bring in Chris.
In that timeout before overtime started, when they were all huddled around, Grant McCaslin had to look JT Toppin in the eye. He was dejected that they weren't able to pull this out in regulation. Had his head down. He said, I need you to lift our team up. You're our leader. I need better body language.
Chris, thank you. And a great start to the overtime session for Toppin. Burries, 1 of 2. The Red Raiders with the ball and a 1-point lead.
All action they're running is out of the middle of the floor.
Atwell, who hit the big 3 near the end of regulation. Back to Anderson. Karchenkov with a great defensive play. And Arizona's got it.
Their bodies are all over the floor.
Three minutes to go. Bradley, no. Rebound, Horner.
Well, Horner's done a nice job on the glass.
Getting some big minutes here for Texas Tech. Toppin the screen. Anderson tried to lob it up for Bamboye, but it bounces to Toppin.
Well, JT Toppin is just around the ball all the time, and as soon as he catches it, that ball's out of his hands and up in the basket. Remarkable.
I mean, it's one thing for a guard to play virtually every minute, but for a big guy like Toppin to play this well, this many minutes, game in and game out, really remarkable.
There you go. Guards and big guys.
Burries fouled.
JT Toppin just gets to the rim. Tobe Awaka didn't put a body on him because he was worried about Anderson going down the lane. And as soon as Krivas got a hand on the ball, Toppin's right there to put it back in. Just always around the basketball. The ball tends to find the most energetic players, and JT Toppin is usually the most energetic player on the floor.
And Jay, he's got 29 and 12 in this game. Burries made them both. Grant McCaslin will use a timeout with 2:13 to go in overtime. And Texas Tech trying to pick up any. Luke Bamboye remains in the game for the Red Raiders. Leon Horner as well. LaJuan Watts on the bench. Atwell trying to inbound it, has to go into the backcourt to Anderson. Good screen by Toppin. Oh, they were fortunate that ball wasn't picked off, and then Atwell cashes in again.
Boy, if you give attention on that roll to JT Toppin, Atwell is going to punish you. Karchenkov coming off him to help, and then he's got to recover, and Atwell made him pay. That's both corners he'd knocked down big threes late in this game.
Krivas. Karchenkov the swing to Burries. Lots of traffic. Awaka with the offensive rebound. It bounces off the rim, but he'll shoot 2.
Now Atwell in the left.
And he makes them both to make it a 2-point game. Again, the 2-man game, Anderson and Toppin.
Clear out on the left side.
Toppin guarded by Karchenkov. Yes!
Boy, really smart. Just eliminated everybody on that left side to let JT Toppin go against Karchenkov one-on-one in the post.
And you know he wants to get back to that right shoulder, that left-hand jump hook, but he still gets there. Awaka, another offensive rebound, and a huge basket for the Wildcats.
He positioned himself so well on the weak side.
Into the final minute here in overtime. Everybody on their feet here in Tucson. Shot clock at 10.
There they go with the clear out again, giving him the left side of the floor.
Karchenkov tries to reach around and steal it. Tough shot.
Oh, what a rebound.
Horner, what a play! What a job by Horner to hustle and get that ball back out.
What a rebound.
10 seconds separating game clock and shot clock. Anderson needs some help. Horner the runner. And another offensive rebound. And the seconds are ticking away. And it'll be Watts who is fouled with 4.5 to go as Grant McCaslin is yelling at Atwell, you hold the ball. You get fouled so you can go to the line.
Yeah, Atwell shoots 86% from the line. Lawan Watts about 78%. But offensive rebounds. Nobody puts a body on Horner. He comes in from the perimeter. Boy, what big offensive boards for Texas Tech in this game.
2 free throws for Lawan Watts. It rattles out. Tommy Lloyd, second player in Big 12 history with a 30-10 double-double against the #1 team. As Watts hits the second, it's a 3-point game. Burries. Bradley gets it off. And Texas Tech will win it.